Hi everybody, I hope everyone is okay. I'll just give it a minute or two to see who's here before I start rambling on. I think I might be a couple of minutes late actually, so apologies. I was just getting the monkeys to bed. Okay, it's saying there's people watching but I can't see who's here. Hey Wend, I can see who's here now. Hey Wend, are you okay? Hi Lucy, hi Freya, hi Tanya. Right, I'll wait a few minutes for everyone. Oh my god, I feel really nervous. Hi Law, you okay? Hi Caroline. I'm not going to sit here and just go hi to everyone, but I will leave it a second. Hi Shelley. Looking lovely. Have I had my hair done? I have. I've just stepped out of a salon, as they say. That's why when Laura was like, what day do you want to do it? And I was like, oh God, I'm really busy every week. And I was like, I'm getting my hair done Tuesday. I'll go with Tuesday because it's the only day my hair will actually be washed and done. As of tomorrow, my hair will be looking a mess again. But I was like, my hair will be actually looking nice because I've been to hairdressers. So I was like, yeah, let's go with Tuesday. Because then I thought at least I won't look like look awful. And because I never brushed my hair, let's be honest. So I thought at least it'll all be done. So, okay, yeah, I feel really nervous. So Laura has asked me to come on and do training on online parties. I have done training in here before on online parties about, we're nearly October now, aren't we? So it's got to be like 4 months or so ago. So I'm probably just going to be going over old stuff, but obviously I'm aware the group has grown substantially during that time. So although I've done one relatively recently, there's obviously a lot of people that wouldn't have seen it from previously. So we just thought it'd be quite good to come on and just kind of refresh a little bit. I've literally scribbled down a couple of notes. I'll do one of two things. I'll either refer to my notes, and so I'll keep pausing because I'll be like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm getting everything in, or I'll completely ignore everything that I've written down and ramble for a really long time, and then when I come off I'll be like, oh no, I forgot to say this and this. So either one of those is going to happen. Hi Daniela, you've just walked in from the airport. Yeah, don't watch me, go and like unpack and chill out and everything. You can catch up at another time. I hope you had a lovely holiday, hun. Who else is here? Right, I'm not going to carry on saying hi to everyone, so please don't think I'm being rude if I haven't said hello to you. Just hi to everyone. And I will get cracking. But yeah, as I say, well actually I'll introduce myself first of all, because I just assume that I'm talking to the girls in my group and obviously people know who I am, but obviously there might be lots of you that don't know who I am, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Laura. I am a star director of Team Sense. I have been with Scentsy literally just 2 years. It was like my 2-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. So I've been with them for 2 years. My journey's been quite quick but amazing. I'm still just totally in love with Scentsy as I was the day I joined. As I say, I joined in September. I purely joined to kind of get my wax and stuff for free and to get a little bit of pocket money for myself, I guess. I'm a mum at home with 3 young kiddies. I've got Harrison who's 8, Violet who's 5, and Finley who's just turned 3. And I was a full-time mummy, and I was like, do you know what, I want a little bit of my own money. I'd run my own business previously a few years before that, and I finished doing that after Violet was born. And I kind of wanted my own money again. So like, my husband's super supportive, but I just wanted my own money again. So I obviously joined. I wanted to get me and my mum were buying loads of stuff from Laura, and my friends were buying loads of stuff from Laura. And we were catching up over a coffee, and she was like, look, why don't you just join? And the rest is kind of history. But I did just literally start it without any intentions, and then, as lots of us do, totally fell in love with it. I know lots of people want to do it as a hobby, and that's wonderful, which is what I initially started out to do. But the momentum just built from there, and I started promoting quickly and building a team. And as I say, I then hit director within the May. I can't do the math, what's that, 8 months, something like that, after joining. And then I hit star director. When did I have to check my little frame on the wall? When did I hit star director? In the June of this year I hit then star director. So a month after hitting out there. Apologies if I did, I just saw a thing come up saying it was trying to reconnect. Yeah, my team's around 230, I think, when I last looked. I've got a team of absolute rock stars who are wonderful. So yeah, that is me in a nutshell. Laura obviously is getting lots of her leaders within her team to do some lives, and it's really funny. I obviously go live within my team group all the time, but when she asked us, I was like, oh no, I don't know what to talk about. Like, everyone's going to do these amazing lives and I don't know what I can bring to the table and talk about. And obviously Laura suggested online parties. Now, the reason she suggested that, as I say, I have done a live in here before about online parties, but online parties since lockdown have literally transformed my business. I've always been a relatively high PRVer. I always aim for that 2,000 PRV. But starting online parties at the beginning of lockdown, it just transformed my business, not just from a PRV perspective, but from growing my team as well and bringing in so many new customers that I just would never have had the opportunity to bring in. And so, because it's turned my business around so much, obviously, I mean, I don't feel like I do anything special. I don't feel like I bring anything to the table that others don't bring. But obviously it's been working, something's been working. So I thought, you know what, I just want to talk about actually what I do during my online parties. And hopefully if it can just help somebody, give somebody a little bit of an idea, or even just make somebody feel a little bit more confident about actually doing the process of an online party. Because I think people panic when it comes to doing something like an online party, because it's something we haven't necessarily done before. Like, before lockdown, the majority of the time it would be like, I'll get my borrow bag out, or I'm going to go and party or do coffee mornings and stuff like that. And I think because people weren't naturally, the first thing you wouldn't offer wouldn't be an online party. I know for me personally, there was a bit of a barrier up when it came to thinking about online parties. It was very much I haven't done that before, so I don't really know how to do it, so I'm just not going to bother trying to do it. And I will hold my hands up, I am that person. If I don't know how to do something, I'd love to say I go out and I make sure I learn how to do it. I don't often. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And actually, I don't really need to do that because I've got this option to do instead. So I'm just going to keep doing this option. And actually, lockdown made me have to rethink it and go, actually, do you know what? I've got to put my big girl pants on. And I've actually got to go out there and I've got to do something. Because I guess like most of you, when lockdown hit, I remember being on the phone to Laura and being like, oh my God, I'm really nervous. Like, what is this going to mean? Like, what will this do to our businesses? Like, I was genuinely quite concerned about it. And obviously I thought, right, well, I'm going to have to start doing online parties. But I thought, I've never done it before. So I was really, really nervous. And I had a customer who I'd asked her to do a party, so like a normal party, so many times, and she wanted to do one, but she was always a little bit flaky because she couldn't commit to a date and things like that. So when lockdown hit, I was like, do you know what, this is the perfect time. I'm going to ask her, because I know she wants a party, but she's got loads of friends that live further afield, and so she would never commit to doing an actual face-to-face party. So I was like, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just going to ask her. And then she said yes. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. She said yes. And then I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do an online party. So I had to take myself off and I had to go and learn. I had to go and learn how I was going to go off and do this online party. Now, I'm very lucky. I've got the lovely Wendy, who is one of my directors. And within our team page, Wendy, about a year previously, sorry, I was having a drink of water. About a year previously, Wendy had done some amazing training in our team group on online parties herself. So I went off and I watched Wendy's training. It was a bit like doing training like this. And I went off and I watched Wendy's training and I saw what she'd done. And I then thought, right, I need to now make this my own. And I've just got to put myself out there and I've got to go and do this party. I'm going to talk through with you in a minute, like what I do. But what I have to say, first of all, before I do that is, like, thank God that I pushed myself and I'd done that online party, because I cannot tell you what turning point in my business that was. And yes, I was really scared about doing it. No, I didn't really know what I was doing. Yes, I thought I was going to completely fluff it up and it was going to be a total flop. But I still went and done it because I was a bit like, well, do you know what? I don't really have a choice, really. We're in lockdown now. I can't get out and party. I can't... At the beginning, you didn't really want to be giving out your borrow bag, I guess, as much, because some people were still quite funny about things. So I thought, I'm either going to let my PRV suffer, or I'm going to have to just go out there and do this online party. And I'd done it, and as I say, thank God I did, because that was such a pivotal point in my business. From then onwards, I was doing, like, at the moment, I admit not as many at the moment, but at the height of lockdown, I was doing a minimum of 3 online parties a week. And I went from being like a 2,000 PRVer to like hitting 5,000 PRV plus a month. It was just going insane. Like, each of my parties, I was doing 3 of them a week, and they were each easily hitting like the 600 mark. So like, if I'm doing 3 of them a week, that's like 1,800 PRV per week. It just kind of exploded, and off the back of that, I got so many new teamies as well. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through. I'm literally going to talk you through kind of how I do them, and hopefully it will be of some help. Sandra, who do you invite and how did you do them? I will go through that with you right now. So the biggest thing I think initially, I'm sorry, because I haven't even looked at my notes yet, so I'm just going to actually see that if I've written anything down that I wanted to talk to you about first of all before I go off on a tangent talking about it. No, it's fine. The biggest thing initially that everyone asks me is, like, how'd you get the parties? Like, it's all well and good, you can show us like what you do and give us advice and on these parties, but how do you get the online parties? I can't get anyone to agree to have a party. And it's a bit of a tough love thing on this. If you're not getting parties, you're simply just not asking enough people. It's 100% a numbers thing. You have to just ask. Now, when I say ask people, I asked everyone. Every single one of my customers that was messaging me and going, hey, hon, can I order, I don't know, an alabaster bundle or an obsidian bundle, whatever it was. If someone was messaging me and they were asking for something like a bundle and they were spending like 50, 60, 70 pounds, I was like, yeah, hey, hon, like, of course I can put that through. Have you thought of doing an online party though? Because actually you could just get that bundle for half price, and then you could also then get yourself another one or a bundle of waxes for free. And 9 times out of 10, those people would reply going, well, what do you mean? How do I do that? And I would just go, it's really easy. Literally just set up an event on Facebook and then leave it to me. I'll do the rest. Just pick a day when you're free, because everyone's free at the moment. No one's got anything to do. Obviously, this is the height of lockdown. Just pick a date. I'll just go live like I do on my page all the time, and I'll just talk to everyone about what Scentsy is. Just invite some of your friends. Let's see if we can get your obsidian for you for free. 9 times out of 10, people are going to go, well, actually, yeah, I'd much prefer to get it for free rather than pay £55. So why not? Like, don't get me wrong. A lot of people said no. Of course they did. A lot of people are just like, oh no, do you know what? I'm just quite happy to pay full price, or I haven't got the time, or whatever. But that didn't put me off. That didn't make me think, oh no, somebody said no, I'm not going to ask the next person. I was just like, okay, cool. Because at the end of the day, they want to put that order in anyway. So they're not going to then turn around to me and go, no, I don't want the party. And why did you ask me about that party? Now I don't even want to put an order with you. Like, that's not going to happen. They're giving you an order anyway. So you're just going to them all like, do you want to have an online party and get that for free? If you do, great, we'll organise it. If you don't, okay, that's cool, no worries, I'll put your order through. You're not losing out in that situation. That's a win-win situation. You're either getting an order or you're getting a party. So why not ask? And so when people say then they can't get online parties, you can. You just need to ask more people. It's a bit like building a team to join. They do, you're just not asking enough people. It purely is a numbers game. Like, before I was a mum, I was in recruitment. And so I'm used to like the numbers game, because I was in headhunting. So I would sit at my desk and I would be trying to find a candidate for, I worked with House of Fraser and M&Co and Jigsaw, like big fashion companies. And if they wanted a store manager for one of their stores, I didn't pick up the phone and ask someone if they wanted to join House of Fraser, and they'd go, no, I don't want to. Oh, okay, I'm not going to ask anyone else. I picked up the phone again and again and again and again and again, and it was just constant, and I would be doing that constantly. So I have that mindset in me anyway, because I was in that business where no is just a word and it doesn't really bother me. And I think you have to get comfortable with no, because once you're comfortable with no and hearing that, it's just a word and you kind of just get over it. And I always say to my girls, do you know what? No's can feel a bit crappy, and it can feel crappy to hear no. but it feels a lot better when you get that yes. And so the feeling of getting that yes is worth taking those no's over. Do you know what I mean? So it purely is a numbers game. How do you explain what a party is to them? I make it sound easy. Totally make it sound easy. I'm going to go through all this now. I will answer questions at the end, but just really quickly. I just say to them, look, all you need to do is go on Facebook and set up an event, invite your friends, I will do the rest. Because if you make it complicated, people are going to shy away from it. So I literally would just say to people, create an event, like pick a day, create an event on Facebook and invite your friends. You don't have to do anything else. And then I will do all the legwork for them. So, and I'm going to go through that with you. I'm going to stop looking at questions because it will throw me off a little bit, but I will scroll back afterwards and I'll come back to the questions. And Tina, don't worry if you go shy on lives, because if that's you and that's your personality, don't try to be something you're not. Everyone is different, everyone is individual, and people will buy into you way before they buy into a product. So don't try and be something you're not. People might find that super endearing if you're on your live, and you mess something up, or you go a bit shy, or you get embarrassed, and that's just life. And actually people will relate to you so much more. And also, just the more you do it, the more confident you become in doing it as well. So never, never, never hold yourself back because you think, oh no, I'm gonna fluff up or I'm gonna look shy or anything like that. Like it is just getting used to it. And as Lucy says, a glass of wine 100% helps as well. Okay, right, I'm not ignoring people. I'm just gonna massively go off on a tangent anyway. So yes, so it is literally it's a numbers game with asking people, and it's making it sound easy to them, and it's making people say to them, well, why would you want to pay the £55 for an obsidian? I can get it for you for free. I put it to people like that, and as I say, 9 times out of 10 people are going to go, okay, yeah, well, I might as well try. What do I have to do? I'll just set up an event. Literally all you need to do is set up an event, I'll do the rest. As soon as people realise there's not legwork in it, they're more inclined to go, okay, do you know what, I might as well give it a go. Okay, cool. Right, so I've completely missed out this page of notes, but that's fine. I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, so in terms of when people have agreed, yes, okay, I'll have a party, what do I do? So I set my parties up on Facebook. Now, everyone is different, and I know loads of people have said to me, oh, well, I want to do it on Zoom. And that's cool, like, you do you and however you choose to do it. I personally choose to do mine on Facebook because I've been to a online party that somebody's done on Zoom for a different network marketing. My friend is in Tropic. Totally love the product. I totally love her. She's my best friend. But when she done her launch in Tropic, I don't know why they do it like this, but their sponsors do their launches for them. So she invited us to this launch, which has been done by her sponsor, and it was on Zoom. And I just felt within Zoom, we're all just sat there as we're listening to this woman talk. And because it's on Zoom, no pictures can be posted. And I felt there wasn't as much interaction. And then if we did want to speak, one of us wanted to speak, it then kind of interrupted her, and you could see it just, she went off flow a little bit because somebody had interrupted her, and then somebody else talked and somebody else talked, and that kind of put her off track. So for me, I prefer doing it on Facebook because I'm like, I can kind of do my thing, and the structure that I like to do with my online parties is I like to, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, I like to build up a relationship with the people on the event page a week leading up to the party. Then on the day of the party, I go live, and then I post pictures, and then I go live again. That's kind of the format that I found works for me, and I can't do that if I'm on Zoom. So personally, I do it on Facebook. I don't set up a group or anything like that. I do it as a Facebook event because, again, I find that's easier for the party host, because as soon as I say to a party host, right, okay, I need you to set up a group and I need you to do X, Y, and Z, it makes it more of a chore for them. Whereas if it's just an event, I've just got to say, pick a date, set an event up, I'll do the rest, and it's easy for them, and they are then more inclined to be happy to do it. So yeah, so I do mine on Facebook. Now I think the biggest thing I think is sorry Sandra, I'm not ignoring you, hon. I'm going to come back to to the messages after. So please don't think that I'm ignoring you. That's all right, Chloe. Don't worry, hun. I hope you're okay. I'm massively going off on a tangent anyway, so I'm actually going to look at my notes anyway because I'm going to miss out like a whole chunk of things that I wanted to say. Okay, fine, yeah. So I do mine on Facebook, and as I say, I literally will set up the event, and then what I will do is, leading up to the event date, I start posting every day on that event page. Only one post a day. The first post would just be to introduce myself and say I'm really looking forward to seeing you all next week, and tell them briefly about me. I don't post on there like 4 times a day, putting a load of flyers on there, this costs this much, this costs this much, that's just not what I do. The purpose of me starting to build up that relationship on the event page a week prior to the online event is so I can do exactly that, so I can build up a relationship. I don't want to come across as salesy. I know I am trying to sell to them, but I don't want it to come across like I'm trying to sell to them. I don't want to spam them with all the Scentsy spiel before we've even had the event, because people will switch off. I want to keep people engaged, and people will switch off the moment people think they're being sold to. They don't want to know. So I just make sure that it's completely non-salesy. It's more like a hi, this is me one day, and the next day, not hi, this is Scentsy, but intro into Scentsy. The next day it might be just about our wax, so they've got an idea what it is. The next day it might be these are different fragrance families. So leading up to the party, they're getting a little bit of information being seen. So they've got like a bit of an idea of who Scentsy are before we have this party. And what I'll always make sure I do with those posts is they're just short and they're straight to the point, because at the end of the day, again, everyone's different, but if I see a post this long, a Facebook post, I don't read it. No matter what it is, even if it's something I'm interested in, I simply don't read it, because I'm like, I don't have time, and I'll just scroll on past. So these people haven't seen me, they haven't met me, all they know is that I'm doing this online event for them. And if I'm posting all this information, they're going to go, oh, I can't be bothered to read that, and I've just lost them straight away. So my posts that I do every day leading up to the event are quite short, they're quite snappy, they're simple for people to read. It will be a simple image of what is Scentsy, and show a picture of a candle burner, and show a picture of one of our warmers, and have a very brief bit of information on it. I make it, as I say, as short and snappy as I can. And also, and again, I'll go on to this later, but I never use a flyer picture ever. And I know we had a brilliant live in here by Wendy a few weeks ago on attraction marketing. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Attraction marketing, we talk about it all the time, but flyers don't sell. People, it's shown that people just scroll and pass. If it's not going to attract you to it, and it's not going to attract anyone else. So all these pictures that I'm posting leading up to the event will always be like real life images, just again to gauge to get their interest. I will also always encourage the host leading up to the event to post as well, and that is really important. One of my teamies was one of my party hosts, one of my online party hosts a few months back, Lucy, if you're still watching, and she posted in the event page leading up to the event loads, and it was brilliant, because leading up to the party, friends of her Scentsy were like, oh, well, this is what my warmer is as well, and everyone started talking, and this is before the event even had happened. This was like leading up to it, and honestly, it was perfect, because before we'd even had this event, some of her friends were seeing what other friends have in their home, and they're like, oh, I want that one that she's got. And it created that fear of missing out, and it created that excitement over different products before I'd even gone live. So if anything, Lucy done my job for me, because she created that excitement about the product before they'd even spoken to me, before they'd even seen me go live. So if you can encourage your host to be working it leading up to that party, it's honestly, it's the best thing to do, because at the end of the day, they are going to trust their friend more than they're going to trust the Scentsy lady that's doing the party. Like, they don't know you, and these people didn't know me, but because Lucy was going, oh my god, like Shimmer's like my best ever wax, and honestly, you guys need an obsidian by your bedside table, so like all of that stuff. She was doing all of that, and at the end of the day, her friends trust her and know her and go to her home and are seeing these beautiful warmers in her home. That to them is going to sell much more than I'm going to be able to sell to them. So if you can get your party host to be encouraging that interaction before this party's even started, then that will really, really work. Okay, so that's like leading up to the party. On the day of the party, we'll post in the morning, it's a party day, like get excited, and I will always put in there, don't worry if you can no longer make it tonight, you can still contribute towards, I'm going to use your name Lucy because now you're in my mind, you can still contribute towards Lucy's party, here's the link, you can order online, and I always make sure I include that because again, people have misconceptions of like network marketing, and people might be thinking, well, if I'm buying a product, it's just going to line that Scentsy consultant's pocket. Like, no, I'm just going to leave it. Whereas if they're like, oh, if I buy, my best friend Lucy is going to get herself some freebies. Oh, okay, definitely. I'm going to look in the catalogue then. And even if they don't have the intention of buying much, they might be like, oh, I'll buy fragrance flower. And people, it's the mindset that people have because they're like, oh, I'm helping my friend out. Well, then definitely I'm going to have a look. If they don't know that, it's very easy to scroll and buy and be like, oh, I can't make it tonight. I'm not really going to bother looking at the link either. So I always make sure that I will post on there. Can't make it, don't worry, you can still contribute towards Lucy's party total for her to get herself some lovely freebies, something along those lines. So that would be in the morning. The evening of the party, about 5 minutes before I'm about to go live, I'll put another post up just to go, look, just a little reminder, I'm going to be live in 5 minutes. The reason again I do that is people forget stuff. With all the goodwill in the world, you can agree to do something, but you forget. I'm the world's worst for it. I'm surprised I was here on time. Like, people are forgetful and they're getting the kids to bed and they're doing this and they're doing that and they'll forget. So having a little thing that pops up on their phone to say like that I've posted in the page that I'm live in 5 minutes, it's just again a little helpful reminder. And I always say to my party host as well, the moment I go live, tag the people that said they're going to come. Because again, it's just that little prompt from their friend to say, oh, my party started, like come and support me type thing, or just to tag them as I actually go live. So I'll go live within the page. Now, everyone can do their parties as they wish, but I find the format for me that works really well is the live and then post some pictures and I'll come live again at the end. Again, going back to my friend's tropic party that she had, I lost interest because it was just somebody talking at me, not just me, obviously lots of us, for like half an hour. And it was, as I say, it wasn't my friend that was doing it, and I know that when she's now done some herself and she's been wonderful and brilliant and she's done it differently, but her sponsor that done it, it was literally just a Zoom and just talking to us like just constantly about who Tropic were, which is wonderful, and it's great, and as I say, I love the products, but I switched off. I switched off, even though I love the product, I switched off very quickly because I just don't find it interesting just being talked at. And she was telling us all these things about Tropic, and I got bored, and I quickly switched my camera off when I made a cup of tea. And I think it's so important. I think the biggest thing that I found with doing these online parties is you have to keep the customer interested and you have to keep them engaged. The moment they are bored, that's it, you've lost them. They'll switch off and they can't be bothered. They can't be bothered to watch you. They can't really be bothered to listen to you. So you have to keep it interesting. And I find if you were purely just going to go live or purely just going to post pictures, people can get bored easily. Whereas if you mix it up a little bit and you do lives and then you go posting pictures, then you go live again, it just keeps it a little bit more fun. It just keeps it a bit more interactive as well. I'd also say, when I do like an online party, I would never have notes like this written. I just wouldn't. Each of my live parties is a little bit different because I make sure that I'm quite natural, because again, people don't want to be sold to, and people will buy into you, like I said before, so much quicker than they'll buy into a product. And if it's quite robotic and it's all planned out and it's perfect, you'll probably find people won't buy into you as much. Whereas where it is natural, like I try and make it really chatty. I try and make it like I'm chatting to my friends. I'll go live and I'll say, well, I'll give it a few minutes obviously to let everyone come on, and I make sure the party host tells me roughly when everyone's there, and waiting for everyone to come on, I literally will chat to them like I'm talking to my friends, and it helps me relax into the party a little bit as well, by just being like, oh, how is everyone, and like, how has everyone's day been, and just like having a bit of interaction with them. Now, I know people have said to me before, how can you interact when you're on a Facebook party because people aren't talking? And it is difficult because people obviously have to type, and we all know that there's a bit of a delay. So like if one of you comments now, I'm not going to see it for like another 30 seconds. So it can be hard, but I'm a talker anyway. So for me, I don't find it too bad. I will just talk, and I'll just talk rubbish until someone comments. And sometimes I'm thinking, oh my God, please somebody comment, because I'm now just talking rubbish. But I just try to make it flow as easily as possible, because as I say, it just is a lot more natural then. And I show my example as well. My excitement, like if people aren't interacting much while we wait for everyone to come on, I start to show my excitement about Scentsy, like how much I love Scentsy and stuff like that. Just again, people are going to naturally buy into you, and if you're just sat there like, hi, welcome to Lucy's party, and I'm going to show you some products, and I hope you like it, like it's just not going to engage people. Whereas if you're like, oh hi, I hope you had a really good day, and like I'm blah blah blah, blah, just a little bit more chatty, a little bit more flowy, I just find people buy into you a little bit more. Now what I do at that point is, while I'm waiting for the party guest to come on, I find the really important question to ask at that point is, how many of you use Scentsy already? And I'll wait a moment and I'll find out how many people on there actually use Scentsy. Now, to me, this is a really, really, really important question to ask at the beginning of your party, because if every party guest is like, yeah, we all use it, my party will take a slightly different turn to what it would be if everyone's like, no, we have no idea, we're Scentsy virgins, like we've never used it. And I use that terminology. I actually say who's like a Scentsy virgin and who's like totally obsessed with it already. And I make it a little bit fun, and I will say, look, I know some of you are already totally obsessed. I know that you can't live without it, because then those that don't use it are thinking, oh my God, what does she mean they're obsessed? Why can't they live without it? Like, what is she going on about? But I will always ask that question, because if most of the guests are like, no idea what it is, then I'm like, okay, great. I will tell you a brief bit about who Scentsy are, so that you have a bit of an understanding, and it opens up that line of communication with them for me to be able to tell them who Scentsy are. Now, again, I know I keep referring back to this other online party that I've been to before, but when we were watching that, she told us so much about their company history, which some people might find wonderful, but I got really bored, because I was like, I don't really care, as awful as that is, I don't really care what the company history is. And again, people disengage really quickly, and if they lose interest, then that's it, they're just not going to bother continuing to watch. So I tell them a snippet of who Scentsy are, and when I say a snippet, like I really mean a snippet. I will just say, okay, just to give you a bit of background information, Scentsy was founded by 2 stay-at-home mums who were looking for a safer alternative to candles. Heidi and Orville saw the idea, they loved the idea. Obviously I'll give a bit more information than this, but it is like a really quick summary, and say obviously they loved the idea and Scentsy was born, and the idea is it's a safe alternative, and it's wickless and flameless and sootless, and like it's a very, very brief summary. And I know I said this to you before when I last done the online party training, but people don't want to know absolutely everything. People don't need to know exactly the day that it was founded and how much money it made in the first 10 years, and why they do X, Y, and Z, and they're then going to go on to do A, B, C. And do you know what I mean? Like, people, they want to see the products and they want to know why it's going to work in their home. So don't worry about bogging yourself down with facts and thinking, okay, when I do this online party, I need to know all these facts before I start, because you don't. People want to see the products. They want to see how you use it. They want to see why you use it. They want to see how it can fit into their homes. They want to know why everyone thinks it's so wonderful, not really what the company history is. Like, at the end of the day, if they really want to know that, they can go and look for it. So don't bog think, okay, it's got to be perfect when I'm doing this online party. I've got to know all this information, because you really, really don't. People want to go and see the products. And as I say, you don't want them to lose interest, because if they lose interest, it's so hard to rein them back in and keep them excited. And because it is on Facebook, it is very easy for them to be like, oh, this bit isn't very interesting, I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. And once they then go and make a cup of tea, they'll probably forget to come back on, and then you've just lost that customer. So I then start to tell my customers how the party's how it's gonna work. So I say to them, right, I'm gonna be live now, and I'm gonna talk to you about some of the products. I'm gonna show you some of the products, then I'm gonna come off live, some pictures, and then I'm gonna come on live again. So I'm getting distracted because I can see a customer messaging me about an order. So sorry if I keep looking up, I can see her messaging me, telling me what she wants. It's really putting me off. So yeah, I tell them how it's gonna work, and I basically say to them, I'm gonna showcase to you all of our warmers so that you can get an idea of all the different bits and bobs that we have and all the different warmers we have. And I'll tell them that that's what I'm going to do. But then, before I do that, before I then show the warmers, I then say, oh, actually, do you know what? Before I show you these warmers, I've got something I have to show you because it's my favourite product, and I can't leave it till last because it's my most favourite thing, so I have to show you. And I show them the fragrance flower. Now, the reason I do that is lots of people have preconceptions about Scentsy and about Scentsy's price point. So I'll have another drink. Yeah, people have preconceptions about it and might be like, oh, it's really expensive. And as soon as they think it's expensive again, they're going to switch off. So I want to get them interested. And I find the fragrance flower, starting with the fragrance flower, always gets them interested, because you show this fragrance flower and obviously it's beautiful. You know 9 times out of 10 people are going to love it, because most people do love the fragrance flower. It's pretty, you can explain to them how it's the same as a reed diffuser, but obviously a lot prettier, and how long it lasts, etc, etc. And then obviously you say, and it's only £19.50. So it's under £20, and it's the perfect way to fragrance your bathrooms in a small space and dressing rooms and things like that. Straight away, all those people that were thinking Scentsy's really expensive have just gone, that's less than £20. Like, this isn't expensive. Like, actually, now I know why my best friend bangs on about it all the time, because actually I was thinking she was going to say it's like £70 for something, but that's £20. So you've caught their interest, and it's so important to it sounds awful to say this, but to like reel them in a little bit, and make them interested and make them realise that actually this is within my price point. And also, it's a crowd pleaser. Like, most people are gonna love a fragrance flower. People aren't gonna switch off, because that first product you show something that half of them aren't gonna like. It's gonna be a bit of a okay, and you have to start with something that people are gonna like. And you can never tell people's tastes. Like, everyone likes different things, but 9 times out of 10 people like a fragrance flower. So I always find it's the best product to start with for that reason, and because it's affordable. So you've caught their attention, and they're like, oh, okay, this isn't expensive as expensive as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to carry on watching. And so you've kind of spiked their interest a little bit. Once I have then shown the fragrance flower, what I also find is most of my hosts all have fragrance flowers, because my die-hard customers, well, most of my customers have fragrance flowers anyway. So I've always coached my hosts beforehand to make sure they're commenting. So I'm like, if people aren't commenting, if love hearts aren't coming up and things like that, can you make sure you are commenting? Because it prompts other people to comment. So 9 times out of 10, at that stage, as I'm showing my fragrance flower, the host would be like, oh my God, I love my fragrance flower, I've got it in my downstairs bathroom. And then one of her friends would be like, ooh, what scent have you got? And it again starts that interaction. And that is what you want when you're doing an online party. You want people to be interacting, you want people to be asking questions. You want all of those people that are watching that don't have a fragrance flower to be like, well, I want a fragrance flower, because in this group of 10 people watching this, my 8 best friends have all got a fragrance flower. Like, why have I not got a fragrance flower? It's that fear of missing out, and you create that straight away with something like a fragrance flower. Because if you've got 3 or 4 Scentsy customers on that party, they're probably going to have one, and they then start, and then the conversation comes up of, oh, sea salt and avocado is the best one, and someone else will be like, no, aloe, water and cucumber, and it just starts that interaction. And that is what you want with your online party. As soon as people are interacting, all those people that don't have it yet want to have it, because they feel like they're missing out on something. I then go on, once I've done the fragrance flower, I'm then like, oh, really sorry, I know I said I was going to show you the warmers. I'll put that to one side, and I'm now going to showcase to you my warmers. And what I have sat here on my desk is I have my warmers out. Now, I have a lot of warmers in my house, like a lot. I don't put them all out. I put all the showstopper warmers out. All the ones that double up as lamps. Because firstly, they're the beautiful show-stopping ones, and they're the ones that make people go, oh my God, wow, that's amazing, that's beautiful. And I've spiked their interest by going, look, you can get some Scentsy for under £20. So they're like, oh, actually, this isn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. And then I flip around and show them the Nova, and then they're like, oh my God, that's absolutely beautiful. And really important, I don't talk prices at this point. So I don't flip it around and go, well, this is the Nova, it's £61. Because all those people that have just tuned in because you can get a fragrance flower for under £20 have then just gone, that's £61. I'm not paying £61 for something that makes my house smell nice. You'll just lose them straight away. So I do not talk prices at this point. I literally flip them around and I start to show them the warmers. Now, what I do find is really key for me, and I've done it differently on different parties, is I was sometimes focusing like lots of time on like showing the Nova, turning it on and turning it off, and showing them how to do a wax change quickly, and then going on to the mercury glass and turning it on and turning it off and all of that jazz. But then I suddenly was like, oh, do you know what? If somebody has come on because they just really want an obsidian, and I've spent 10 minutes faffing around showing them the Nova, again, I'm going to have lost them. So I do showcase them, but I don't spend absolutely ages, because again, the moment somebody gets bored, you've just lost them. So it is like a relatively quick, like long enough so that I can show them the different warmers. But I have like the Nova, the cream diamond, the obsidian, the mercury glass, the Marrakesh, so the ones that I call the showstoppers, and also the lamp warmers. Yes, I could put out my alabaster warmer. Yes, I could put out, I can't really think of any non-glitzy ones that I have really, but like, do you know what I mean? I could put out the plainer warmers, like the grey curve, like I love all of those ones. But like, and this is a genuine thing, I buy ones like the obsidian. Actually, I buy them all, so this is a little bit of a lie, but I have out on display things like the obsidian and the mercury glass and things like that, because they are multifunctional and they do double up as lamps. And I will explain that as I'm showing to them, because as soon as, again, you show someone this isn't just something that's going to fragrance your home, this is something that's really decorative, this is actually something that you can use in replacement of a lamp. Because all those people that have gone to Next before and they've spent £80 on a lamp are then going to go, well, actually, that's much cheaper than a lamp from Next, and it's going to make my house smell nice. So what they thought was expensive to make their house smell nice is now actually a really affordable way to decorate their house and create light within their house. So it's all just about the way that you kind of word it to kind of change the thought process around it. So yeah, I will then showcase the warmers to them. I always leave the obsidian till last, always. Because, and again, everyone's customers are different, but for me, it's always been a bestseller, and I just feel it gives off the biggest wow factor when I show it, because these online parties are normally of an evening as well. By the time I've got around to showing them the obsidian, it's normally a little bit darker, and I actually do turn the lights off when I show it to them, and literally every single person will comment straight away and go, wow, oh my God, that's amazing, that's beautiful, I love it, I love it, I love it, and I'll get loads of comments about it. And again, as soon as you spark that interest and people are commenting, somebody that was thinking, oh, I'm not sure about that, has now seen their 4 best friends say it's amazing, and they'll then become more interested in it. I do have other stuff out on display as well, but what I tend to do is I show all of the showstopper warmers, and then and this is to gauge if people are still with me or if people have tuned out and they've got bored of listening to me. I then say, right, I have everything else here. I have the Scentsy going, I've got my washer whiffs and my fragrance mist and my blah, 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 blah. And I specifically speak to the host, so to speak. And I would say, right, Lucy, do you want me to show all the rest of the party guests all of these bits I've got here? Or would you just like me to get on and start sharing some posts with you to show you all our other bits from the catalogue? The reason I do that, as I say, is to see if people are still with me. If I literally get no response from that, I'm like, okay, right, let's go and post some pictures, because I'm thinking I've lost them. They've got bored of me talking. I've rambled on for too long. That I'm talking at them. I'm going to come off the live and I'm going to post pictures. So I always will ask that question. Sometimes I'll get a host responding back and go, oh my God, you have to show them the washer whiffs. Please show them the washer whiffs. And again, that shows me that people are still listening, they're still interested. And also all those other people will then listening and are like, well, washer whiffs. And again, it just sparks some interest. Shelley, what if you've not got a big collection? It doesn't matter. Even if you only own 4 warmers, it is fine. Showcase what you have, because you'll be surprised actually how much you have, because you'll have a mini warmer from your kit, you'll have your large warmer from your kit. You'll have a couple of bits that you already had as a customer. You'll have washer whiffs, you'll have a fragrance flower, so you would actually be really surprised how much that you have. But it really doesn't matter. You showcase what you've got, and then you can come off the live feed, and then you can go on to posting the pictures. Just like I did, Shelley, on the online party that you saw. Obviously that I showed what I have, and then I'll go on to post the pictures. So don't worry that you don't have enough stuff. There is always enough stuff to be able to create conversation with people. So yeah, I then sometimes show those other bits, or if I can see that I've kind of lost interest from them, I'll then come off the live feed and I will then go on to posting pictures. What I will do when I start to post images, now it's really important, I have all my images saved on my phone. So everything that I'm going to post about is saved in an album that says online parties on my phone. All of the writing that I'm going to do with each of those pictures is saved in my notes, because I don't want to be scrambling around trying to quickly find a picture or quickly trying to write something. So I have all of my images saved and have all of my information written down that I'm going to be posting. I kind of have a format to what I then start posting. The very first thing that I will post, so I'll come off the live feed, I tell them that I'm going to post them really, really quickly in quick succession as well. The reason I do that, and again, everyone does things differently. I know some people say they post a picture and they wait for a few comments and then I'll post another one. But I just find in doing so, if you're leaving 3 minutes between each post, someone's going to be like, oh, I'm quickly go to the toilet, I'm going to quickly make a cup of tea, and then their kid actually calls them from upstairs, so they'll quickly go up and check on their kids, and then their husband wants to know something, and then they've gone. Whereas if I'm literally posting a picture one after the other, like, and when I say quickly, like any of you that have watched my online parties, obviously Shelley, you've watched my online parties, they literally are coming like that. By the time I've posted one picture, I'm going into the next one to copy and paste the information onto a post. So they're coming like every 15 seconds. And again, I just find that piques people's interest. I also find by doing that, you don't know what people are interested in. Somebody might just want to see mini warmers. And if you've posted about the Nova and you've waited 3 minutes, and then you've posted about the Mercury Glass and you've waited a few minutes, then you've posted about washer whiffs, they're probably like, oh my God, just get to the mini warmers already. So by posting everything very quickly, they know they're not going to have to wait long before they see the thing that they're particularly interested in. So that's why I post them really quickly as well. But I would always say to be prepared. You don't want to be scrambling around, because it is stressful. I've done it before where I've suddenly realised that actually I don't have an image, I don't know, of like a new warmer that's come out, and I think, oh no, I've got to quickly find an image, and then I think, oh no, now I need to write something, and it just stresses you out a little bit. But in saying that, if that does happen, don't panic. I don't think people realise they don't utilise it enough. On your PWS, with all of the warmers and with all of the products, when you click onto them, there's always a little bit of blurb at the bottom of them. I will just copy and paste that. Because again, like I've said before, you want a short and snappy caption. You don't want to write a long paragraph about why this warmer is wonderful. You just want a short little snippet, because people are going to see the picture, quickly read the snippet. At this point, I generally do tend to be posting the price points as well. Oh, and in saying that, I knew I'd forget something. The first picture that I will post is of one of our £30 warmers. Because my thought process with it is, I caught their interest with the fragrance flower. It's under £20, so they're like, well, okay, this Scentsy isn't expensive. Then I've showed them like things like the Obsidian and the Nova, but I haven't mentioned the prices, but I've showed them the absolutely beautiful warmers, and they're like, oh my God, that was only £20. These are beautiful. And then the first thing I've posted is a £30 warmer, and again, they've gone, oh my God, this isn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. So I haven't talked prices when I've been showcasing the warmers. I then post something that's affordable. The next warmer I post might be the Alabaster. All the more affordable warmers, because again, it just, people buy into it then a little bit more. So I can see things are popping up. So yeah, so that will always be the first couple that I post. And also, again, to keep people's interest, I don't just post warmer after warmer after warmer after warmer, because again, people will be bored. So I almost have like a little system. It's not a system, but I'll do like warmer wax bars, warmer scent circles, warmer laundry range, warmer kids range, just to keep it flowing a little bit. Because if I just posted about warmers, as I say, if somebody wanted laundry, they might be like, oh my gosh, she's just posting about warmers, I can't be bothered to watch anymore. So I always make sure that I mix it up a little bit when I'm doing my post. Right, sorry, I've totally gone off off track with that. Yes, that was everything. When I'm doing my posts, I don't post everything. I don't post the whole catalogue. Firstly, because I'll be there for bloody ages. But secondly, like I've said like so many times throughout this, is people will switch off and people will get bored. So pick your favourites, make it interesting, make sure you're posting about lots of different products that we have. Mix it up a little bit, but like don't just like post 25 pictures of warmers and then just one picture of a laundry range. Like you need to mix it up a little bit without kind of throwing up Scentsy over them and showing them absolutely everything, because at the end of the day, like, yes, we're all obsessed with the whole entire catalogue, but a lot of people just want to see snippets of it. And it also opens up line of communication with people afterwards when they're messaging you about stuff. If you haven't shown everything, they can be like, oh, well, I've just looked online and I've actually seen this, and you can then, it opens up that line of communication with them afterwards as well. Sorry, I've just got to have a drink. So yeah, so I posted my pictures. I did see that somebody said, how many photos do you post? I would hazard a guess of about 20-ish. I've never counted. I would say around 20. So I'll always tend to do the warmer, and then it will always have like the main products in there. Like, even though I've talked about the fragrance flower, I'll post about the fragrance flower again because it's popular. I will always post about the laundry range because it's popular. So I would tend to pick the most popular things on there. I do try and get a lot of content on there, but I definitely don't post everything. But yeah, I would hazard a guess of around 20 pictures. And with that as well, like I've already said before, I will always use real life images as well for all of those posts. I won't use any flyers for it, simply because if you've got a flyer with these new waxes, it's got a flyer of these new waxes, it's boring. People aren't going to look. Whereas if it's got a picture with me with these people are going to be like, why is she putting a stupid face while she's holding wax? Or a picture of me smelling the wax, whatever. It just gauges people's interest a little bit more. So my images will always be real life. They'll either have my face in it, or they'll just be a real life picture that's clearly been taken in my home that I've tried to make look really beautiful. If you don't have images, and I know loads of people say, oh, I struggle and I'm not very good at taking pictures. I know it's now, the group is still there, the stuff is being posted on it, but we had the image sharing group that you can still look at all the archived posts on there. There are so many wonderful images on there. So even if you don't feel like you're good at taking pictures, people have shared images in there. I really urge you to make sure, online party or no online party, you should be posting on real life pictures as opposed to flyers. It doesn't take much to either take a picture or search for a picture that is going to give you better content on your page. It doesn't take long, and it's so important to kind of instill that, and to always remember that people are going to take a lot more notice when you've got that beautiful real life picture as opposed to just a flyer showing a bar of wax with the ingredients written underneath it. It's just not going to get the interaction that a real life image will. So even with these on the online party, I will always make sure that I'm using those real life images. So yes, so I'm just checking that I haven't missed anything in terms of the pictures that I am posting. So obviously I say I start with the more affordable warmers. So yeah, so that'll be it. So I'll just be posting the pictures, posting them in very quick succession, starting with the more affordable warmer. Make sure I'm showcasing as much as possible, trying to get as much content in there as quickly as possible. So literally my posts are coming like that very, very quickly. My final picture will be like the Bitmoji of me saying, I'll be back live in a couple of minutes. Any questions, make sure you fire them at me as soon as I come live again. And then give people a couple of minutes. In that time, I will message the host and I will say, right, the moment I come back live, make sure you're interacting, ask me a couple of questions, ask me about a scent or something like that. Make sure you're interacting with me. And again, tag people to come back on in case anyone has gone AWOL during the posting of the pictures. So I then will go live again, and as I say, it's really important. I have had hosts before that just haven't interacted, and it makes a vast difference, the ones that interact to the ones that don't. The ones that interact, their guests start to interact, and they always tend to be higher PRV parties. So it is a very, very important point to make sure your host is interacting at that point. So I then will come back on live, and I will say to them, look, apologies that they all came so quickly, but I wanted to get as much over to you as possible. We have so much different stuff that we can show you. I haven't showed you everything, so if you do obviously want to see a little bit more, then let me know and I can send you my website for you to look through, blah, blah, blah. Now I basically would then go on and ask them if people have questions. Now my second live is a vast amount shorter than what my first live will be. Sorry, 2 seconds. That's all right. What's the matter? Sorry. Yeah, my second live is a lot quicker. It simply will be answering questions that people might have. Now at this stage, what I tend to find is people that are new to it will then start asking me questions about scents, because at the end of the day we're online partying and they haven't been able to smell the waxes before. And actually loads of people say to me, oh, I feel like people aren't going to buy because they can't smell the waxes. I feel it's totally different. Like, I have had people try so much more because they haven't been able to smell them, because they ask me and they say to me, right, well, I tend to like linen smells, what would you recommend? And instead of them having the bag and going, oh, clothesline's nice, I'll buy clothesline, they say to me, oh, I don't know what I'm going to like, but I like linen, so what do you suggest? And I'm like, right, okay, well, we have clothesline, which is super strong, smells like really fresh, clean washing, and it's a total room filler. We have windowsill breeze that is quite similar, but not quite as strong. And actually, trying something also like a newborn nursery is actually something that's a little bit different. So you've got a clean linen scent, but actually it's slightly different. And I can show them that all of these different scents have something a little bit different to offer. And it then leads me on to being able to say about bundle and saving as well, and how it's good to mix up the different smells because you don't want to go nose blind. So I find that actually people tend to buy more because they haven't been able to smell it. And whereas before at parties I might get people buying a wax, a warmer and one wax, my online parties people always buy bundles, always. So actually I think that opens up that line of conversation. It makes them feel a little bit more special as well, because it's like you're there being their personal shopper. So somebody will say, I literally will say to them, like, tell me the ingredients you like, and someone will say, well, I love vanilla, and I'm like, okay, great, we have sweet pea vanilla, we have vanilla bean buttercream, which is sweeter. And I think they feel like they're getting that more personal kind of experience from you as well. So, and that live, that will be where I'm kind of answering those types of questions. I will talk to them about the ordering process as well at that point. I know people feel a bit icky doing that, feel uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, you are there. We want to make PRV for ourselves, but we are there to get our hosts as much free credit and as many half price items as they can have. And I make the party guests aware of it. So I will say to them, like, if you would like to order, I'm going to be on my phone for the next hour after this. You can either order directly via the link and it will come straight to you via UPS. People are scared of saying that sometimes because they think people are put off by shipping. I don't find that people are. Like, people in this day and age are used to that you have to pay shipping, and especially the way things are at the moment, people are online shopping and they're used to paying that. If you make it a thing, it becomes a thing. Whereas if you're just like, yep, okay, it comes straight to your door via UPS, people are like, okay, cool, and it's not a thing. So I say to them they can shop via the link, or I say they can message me directly. Everything's going to go on to, I'm using the name Lucy still, everything's going to go on to Lucy's party, and the more that people buy, the more freebies that Lucy's going to get as a thank you for hosting this party. Again, I just make people aware that it's going to be their friend that's getting all the goodies from having this online party. I then check if anyone has any questions, and I then will come off the live feed. Straight after I've come off the live feed, I'll do another post just as a thank you so much for having me. I hope you enjoyed it. As I say, I'm available if anyone has any questions. Thanks for having me type thing. So I always will put that up straight after. I then tend to have people messaging me about putting some orders through and stuff like that. So the next day, and I didn't do this initially, and then after about my third or fourth party, I started to do this, and this made a really big difference as well. Sorry, I've just realised how long I've been talking for. I'm sorry, so I'll try and wrap it up. It made a really big difference. I, the next day, put a post on the event just to say, thank you again for having me last night, and thank you to, and then tagged all the people that had ordered so far. And I said, thank you to all those that have ordered so far, and then tagged the names. Purely because, not to call out those that haven't ordered, like that's not what I'm doing it for, but to prompt those that haven't ordered, because 9 times out of 10 they'll go, oh no, I've like totally forgot to put my order in, and that will then prompt them to be like, actually I'm going to get my order in now. And I always then have some more orders off the back of putting that post in. So that I find has been really effective, and that has worked really well. And then a few days after that, once the host has then picked all of her credits and half price items and stuff like that, I will put a post in that event, and I also put a post in my personal, not my personal Facebook, my group page, to say my lovely host Lucy's just held an online party. She had her friends together. We talked about Scentsy, and at the end of it, she's got 3 half-price items and like £100 in free credit. That always gets me a repeat booking, always. Every single time I've done that, I've then had people off the back of that gone, oh my God, they've got £100 in free stuff. Like, what do I need to do? And so I'll just, people, when they contact me, I'm like, oh, you just set up an event and that's it, and I'll do the rest. So it will either be people that have attended that party will then want one because they know what's happened at that party and realised how easy it is, and they've got all these freebies, or it'll be completely new customers that will see that I've posted it on my page, and they'll then book. So that is how I had the quick succession of having all of these online parties. Also, from doing these, I've had loads of people join my team, because again, I think I've had 5 people that I've done online parties for have since gone on in the last few months to join my team, and they've all been super successful. Because I think they saw how easy it was, and they saw how excited people got, and they saw how their friends just totally bought into it straight away. So not only has it been a really big PRV booster for me, it also has meant that I've had some wonderful new people join my team as well. So from that perspective, it's also a bit of a game changer for your business, just to think outside the box a little bit, and to give it a try. Because I know people are really nervous about doing it, and I know people think like it's this really big thing, but actually, do you know what? It's actually a lot easier than going out partying, because, well, I know we can't go out partying anyway at the moment, but even when we can go out partying again, I'm still going to really recommend that I do these online parties, because when you go out and party, I love it, and I love the buzz of being in a room with people, but you've got to pack up all your stuff. You've got to travel to someone's house, you've got to put it out on display, then you've got to pack it back up again, then you've got to drive back to your house, you've got to unpack it back at your house. It's a whole evening. Whereas I do these online parties, it takes me 5 minutes to put my warmers out on my desk. The whole party takes about an hour, and then I'm done, and I'm in my home, and I'm in my PJs, and I've got my cup of tea, and I'm getting higher PRV from doing them as well. We all know what it's like when, well, you might not be like this, but when I shop online, it's much easier to spend than when I'm in a shop, because I'll be in a shop and I'm like, oh no, actually that's like X amount of money. No, I shouldn't, I should be good. Whereas when I'm shopping on ASOS, I'm like, oh, that's all right, add it to my basket, keep putting it in my basket, keep putting more. I don't think about it. And I think a lot of people have that mentality when they're shopping online as well. So I have found that my online parties always are bigger PRVers than when I'm at actual parties. Because also I think when you're at a physical party, obviously people are chatting, and they're chatting to each other, and they're seeing their friends, so they're kind of half listening to you, but they're also kind of wanting to catch up with their friend they've not seen for a few weeks. And so they then might be like, oh yeah, just get me a fragrance flower or whatever, because they just want to catch up with their friends. Whereas on an online party, it's quick and it's engaging them, and it's taking like 45 minutes out of their evening, and then they're just like, yep, I'll have X, Y, and Z. And so I always tend to find that it tends to be a bigger PRVer. But that's it. That's what I do. As I say, it's not reinventing the wheel. There's nothing special that I do. I don't play any games. I know lots of people ask about playing games. I don't personally. It's not that I don't think they're any good. They 100% have their place. But I know that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing them, just because it's not really me. I don't really tend to play games when I'm doing face-to-face parties either, just because I know I just wouldn't feel comfortable. And I think as soon as you don't look comfortable, people don't buy into you. So I don't want to be sat here feeling awkward or looking awkward, because I'm gonna, like I've said from the start, I'm gonna lose people's interest. So that's not to say that games aren't amazing. Like, and if you like playing games, like 100% do them. They're great. I just don't personally, because they don't work for me. I know Lucy, if she's still watching, who, as I say, was one of my party hosts and who is now one of my teamies, she actually asked if she could play a game at the online party that I done for her. And I was like, look, if you want to do a game, like, amazing. And that's obviously, I always knew she'd be a really good consultant, but that was yes, she needs to be on my team when she done that. And so she actually done a game at the end of her party, which was amazing. And again, that really helped boost things as well within her party. So they definitely have their place if you enjoy doing them. It's just not something that I personally do. And I'd say, don't worry if you like to do them or you don't like to do them. It's not going to affect how successful your party is, because I'm doing online parties and having really high PRV from them, and I've never played a game. So don't worry when you're not doing them that you're not going to be as successful as somebody else that is doing them. The biggest tip that I can give you is just to be yourself. and do what feels comfortable to you. Because like I said before, if you are robotic and you're uncomfortable and you look like you're not enjoying it, then they're not going to enjoy it either. You have to show that you are enjoying it for people to buy into you. Like, that's the biggest thing in attraction marketing. I think people, like I said before, people will 100% buy into you before they're ever going to buy into the product. But yeah, that's it, as I say. So there's nothing like, I don't know if this has been helpful at all for anybody. All I would say is, if you haven't done it before, just go for it, because I had never done it before. And I was this close. I can remember talking to Laura on the day of that first online party. I was this close to going, oh, I'm not going to do it, I'm just going to cancel, because I was really nervous. Thank you.
You need to light the rest of the Yankee candle.
Yeah, such an idiot. Thank you. I've got a cup of tea. I don't know if you heard what he said. He said, do you want me to go and put the Yankee candles on? I obviously don't have Yankee candles in my home. Yeah, I was really, really close to cancelling that party because I was really, really nervous. And I just think, thank God that I didn't, because, as I say, I have new teamies through those parties. It helped me to hit incentives because of the high PRV I was getting. It's been a huge, huge game changer for me. It's a bit like ripping a plaster off. Things can seem a lot scarier than they're actually going to be. And actually, when you do it, it's like, oh, do you know what? It really wasn't as bad as I was anticipating. Like Shelley, right? Shelley's one of my new teamies that joined last week, and she done a live yesterday unboxing her kit. And I know you were super nervous, but I think she then saw the power of going live in these situations, because I was watching her as she was unboxing her kit, and people are like, oh my God, that looks great. I have one of them. I have one of them. And she came off the live like having 5 orders or something. And it would have been very easy to just go, oh no, I'm not going to do it because it's a bit scary. But sometimes we have to do things like that, because actually it then shows us it's nowhere near as scary as we thought. And I love doing online parties now. I absolutely love them. As I say, it's just been a game changer. And if you're struggling to get them, then just ask more people. It literally is as simple as that. I don't have a magic formula that I say to people to encourage them to have parties. I just ask a lot of people. And you know how I know that is exactly why it works for me? Because recently I haven't asked people, and I haven't had one for the last 6 weeks. And last week I thought, oh my God, I haven't had an online party for ages. I'm going to get asking. So I've asked, and I've got one next week. It's a numbers game. You have to ask people. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's as simple as that. You just need to put yourself out there. And if you've got a customer that is putting in like £100 order, then without a doubt say to her, hun, do you want to just have an online party because you're already spending £100? If you invite like 5 friends and we get that order to like £250, you all get a half price item and £25 in free credit. Like, it's a bit of a no-brainer. If you make it very casual like that, then 9 times out of 10 they're going to go, well, what do I have to do? Well, nothing really. You just have to watch me. Oh, okay, yeah, cool, I'll do it. Like, always try and flip them round. I do a lot of the personal shopping links as well, which I know Laura's done training in here before about the personal shopping links. But all my personal shopping link people, I always, before they check out the party, I always say to them, like, your party's at like £200. Should we just do an online party and bump it up a little bit? So that works really well as well. Right, I'm going to see if there are any questions. If I've missed any, I'm sorry. I'm not going to scroll right back. I'm just going to look on here. As I say, I'm really sorry if it hasn't been overly helpful. Even if it's helped one person though, then that was my intention. You've got your first online party on Friday. Oh my God, honestly, don't be nervous or anything. Just be you and have some stuff prepared, and I promise you, after that online party, you'll be like, oh my God, that's just nowhere near as scary as I thought it was going to be. And as I say, they can just bring in such big PRV. It still surprises me now to this day. I had like 3 months in quick succession where my PRV was just sky high, and it purely was down to the online parties. Yeah, I know, Laura, I talk about Yankee Candle. He smirked at me and was like, should I put the candles on? But I can't complain because he has actually made me a cup of tea. Can you imagine if I did actually say, yeah, go on, go put the candles on? Sarah, do you ever post out any scents before the party in case they have no idea what to order? No, I don't. It's a brilliant idea, but I will be honest, I would love to say I'm a really organised person, but I'm not, and I wing it in life, just in general. And I'm not organised enough to get scent packs sent out to people. I'd love to do it because it is a great idea, but I'm not organised enough. but it's never been an issue for me because people during my party will say, I literally have no clue what waxes to order. So I just go to them, look, honestly, don't worry about it. Choose your warmer, and then I'll message you after the party and we'll talk about what smells you like. And then they feel like they're getting special treatment from me. And I'm messaging them after the party and I'm like, okay, tell me what type of smells you like. And they'll be like, oh, well, do you know what? Normally I love fruity smells and I love anything that's got sandalwood in it. And then I quickly just go on Workstation and type in sandalwood and I'm like, oh, okay, you will love X, Y, and Z. So it's never needed to be an issue, and people feel like they're a little bit more special because you're giving them that kind of one-on-one treatment. This will be uploaded to YouTube, guys. Oh no, will it? I should have topped my makeup up a little bit. Also, how do they order? Do they just message you direct? Yeah, so I give them the option and I say you can message me directly. When I've done parties for customers that are further afield, I've just said to them to shop via the link. And like I say, I don't make a big deal out of shipping, so it's never a big deal to them. So yeah, they will then just do it directly via the link. But everyone else, I just say to them, right, I'll be on my phone for the next hour after the party, so just drop me a message with your order. And then the next day, as I say, some people haven't ordered, by me putting that post up to say thank you to whatever the names are that have ordered. Anyone that still wants to order, don't worry, there's still time. I'll be placing it tomorrow. That then prompts all those others to then message me directly as well with their orders. Becky, thank you. It's been really nice to get some fresh ideas. You're very welcome. It's not letting me click on to see the rest of your message, Becky. So I can't see the rest of what you've said, but you are very welcome. So yeah, if there are any other questions, please feel free to message me. My inbox is always open, so please feel free to message me. As I say, I hope it has been helpful. Laura, thank you for having me. Nick, thank you. This has been great. Thank you. Shows where I went wrong. I'll try another. I'm sure you didn't go wrong. Do you know what? If you ever do have a party and it's not successful, don't worry. I've now done quite a lot. And yes, most of them have been great, but I have had one that just went terribly. But it was purely because the host hadn't really, not prepped her friends, that's the wrong word, but the host hadn't really told her friends much about it, so not many people turned up. The host didn't really interact. So I think the biggest thing with it is to have a host who really wants to interact. And I think if you are building that relationship with them prior to the actual party, then they are more inclined to interact, they are more inclined to post. And I start to build that relationship with all the people going to the party prior to the night, because I never want it to be like I am just selling to them. I want it to be that I am building that relationship. Like I build my relationship with my customers on my page, I will try and build a relationship with all of those people on that event a week leading up to that event, so that I've kind of got to know them a little bit, and they don't think that I'm just this person that's just going there on their live that night to try and sell them loads of stuff. So I think building that relationship with them is really helpful, and that is why I always say to my hosts, please make sure you set the event up at least a week before it goes live. So I have a week to be able to do that. And it's not like I'm on there all the time, but just posting once a day, a few of them might ask me a question and I'm responding to them. So I'm showing them that I am kind of building that relationship and I'm trying to help them and I'm advising them on different stuff. So I think that's really important to get your party hosts to do that and set it up that week before, so that you can kind of interact with them and get to know them a little bit better. Becky, I had an awful one that we cancelled 15 minutes prior to going ahead because my host was so negative about everything. Yeah, see, that's the thing. And unfortunately, experiences like that will happen. But what you've got to make sure you don't do is let it knock your confidence and make you think that you can't do it. It's like I say, I always liken it back to when I worked in recruitment and I was headhunting. Like, I'd sometimes have days where I've found 100 people and every single person would have told me no. But number 101 might say yes, and they could have got the job and got me like a huge commission. So I always used to think, well, do you know what? It doesn't matter that 100 people have said no, because this one person that says yes has now made me feel on top of the world. So never put those negative experiences at the forefront of your mind. You can push them to the back of your mind, and it's all about how you deal with them. And I always think from negative ones, it helps you learn and it helps you grow. And like Laura will always say, it's about having a growth mindset. It's all too easy to feel negative when something goes wrong and think, well, I can't do it. But that's never going to help you. When you have a negative experience, you've got to go, okay, well, why did that go wrong? And what should I do next time round to make sure that that doesn't happen, so that you can grow and you can learn. And I actually always think sometimes it's actually really helpful for things to go wrong sometimes, because otherwise you don't learn. So I sometimes actually, in a weird way, feel like that's quite a good thing sometimes. Sorry, I've literally been talking at you for an hour and 15 minutes. I do apologise that I've rambled on. I always say that I won't, and then I always talk for too long. So yeah, thank you to everybody for having me, and I hope it has been helpful for some of you. And yeah, thanks, bye.